Alright, so welcome back, guys, or welcome if this is your first time here. I'm Vision here with Blind Entertainment, bringing you guys another video. Today I'm going to be giving some thoughts and opinions regarding the backstory to Alpha and the Whispers being revealed in episode 10. And in the second half of this video, I'm going to be touching base on a theory from a fellow viewer, Heidi, who thinks that Alden or Luke won't survive in the trade. So I'm going to be addressing that theory in this video as well. So if you're interested in either of those topics, don't forget to subscribe down below and hit that bell icon. That way you'll miss more Walking Dead content from me in the future. Now let's begin. We got some photos for episode 10, and the opening minutes kind of reveals that we're going to be getting the background, Alpha and the Whispers. Now, right off the bat, when I heard this originally from some early reviews, I was kind of mixed on the topic. One of the things I loved about the Whispers in the comics was how mysterious they were and how they became how they were. I wasn't really looking forward to having a background to them, so I kind of was disappointed. And I feel like some of my worries were even further seen when I saw some of these photos, because for some reason, I don't know what it is, but something about this backstory reminds me of the backstory they gave to Martha, the season 4 villain of Fear the Walking Dead. And that, in my opinion, that failed horrifically. That was horribly handled in Fear the Walking Dead. I think that this is borderline, in my opinion, either going to be a hit or miss, in my opinion, in regards to Alpha's backstory. Because I don't know, there's just something familiar about it that just makes me worry that it's going to be Fear the Walking Dead standards. And that just, I'm not saying Fear the Walking Dead's bad, because it's nowhere near bad. But it just was not as good as it should have been for Martha. And I worry that they might make the same mistake with Alpha and the Whispers. But for some of these photos we got here, we got Alpha standing here. Not much to go off of there. It's just her standing next to a CPR sign. Not much to go off of there. They're probably in some kind of building or hospital, school maybe. Just, you know, a CPR thing just to inform people. Nothing else there. You got a drawing underneath that. Now this could either be, like I said, they're at a school and it could be a former kid's drawing, or it could be a drawing that Lydia did. It does kind of look like maybe some kind of animal, or like a walker, an animal or a walker, I'm not sure. At first glance, to me, kind of looked like a turtle, but at second glance, maybe it's like a sick human. I'm not totally sure about that photo. I'm very interested to see what goes on here, but this photo doesn't really give too much away as regards to story and what's going to be going on with the backstory to them in this episode. Then we got a photo here of Alpha and a young Lydia playing checkers. Now, the backstory to Alpha serves two purposes from a writing standpoint. They're just not doing it just so we get the backstory to Alpha. One, it serves to humanize Alpha and to see where she comes from. And two, it kind of provides like an insight to how they live and work. I don't think we're going to get too much into this. From what we see in the opening minutes, it looks like Lydia's going to be opening up to Henry in the jail cell. Now, from the behind the scenes stuff from episode 9, we know that Daryl was playing a con kind of and making it so that Lydia would open up to Henry and then he'd listen in above, and then that way he'd be able to get that information that way. So we'll probably get that information continuing on here. I think at the same strength, we'll probably have Luke and Alden back at the camp, and they'll be kind of pushing some buttons at Lydia, and she'll be revealing some of the information herself. So I feel we're going to get like kind of like a back and forth of Lydia telling Henry and then Alpha telling Luke and Alden. And their kind of story will go piece by piece and piece together in kind of all in the same way, in a sense. Then we got a photo here. Now these three people here, the man in the middle is Frank, that is Lydia's father. From reports, the man on the right here, his name is Matthias, and then the girl on the left there, her name is Amanda. Now, we do know that Frank ends up dying in the opening minutes. We can see kind of a scene of him with his, like, neck cut or something. So somehow he ends up dying. So Beta is not Alpha's husband, and that's pretty much confirmed here as well, because that's a different actor than Ryan Hurst. So I'm interested to see what leads up to his death, and if that's the moment that Alpha becomes Alpha, or if that's just one of the things that causes Alpha to become Alpha. Then we got a scene here of Alpha sitting down, Now, she's behind her husband, so it kind of looks like she's kind of not the leader of the group here. And going off of that, the episode's title is Omega, so I kind of feel like we're going to see Alpha start off as kind of a lower person and end up rising through the ranks and becoming the Alpha. I think when she first meets the Whispers, she's not going to be their leader. She's just going to be a regular Whisper, and then we're going to kind of see her rise through the ranks and eventually become Alpha that we know now in episode 9. Now then we got 2 shots of Alpha and Frank talking. Now, one thing I'm interested to see is if we're going to get a name reveal to Alpha. Part of me feels like that'd be interesting, but part of me really hopes that they keep her name secret. I know fans probably want to find out what her real name is, but I kind of feel like I feel like we're getting enough of the background to her. I really don't feel like we need her name revealed too. I think that's overdone, but I feel like it has to happen in a sense because after her husband dies, they're gonna need to refer to her as someone. I mean, they can get away with her husband referring to her as like honey or whatever, but once her husband dies, they have to. The rest of her group, at least if they survive, is gonna have to kind of refer to her in a name of sense. I mean, they could do something like they did with Laura on Fear the Walking Dead, but I just feel like that's a cop out. I feel like we're definitely gonna find out her name, which is kinda I'm back and forth about because I kinda don't want to know her name, but at the same point I feel like it's definite at this point because how else is the rest of her group gonna refer to her? And there we got Lydia bringing in some laundry or doing something with them. I'm really interested to see young Lydia, especially since she's like gonna be like 5 or 6. I think she's like 16 or 17 in the current timeline, so she'd be like 6 or 7, 10 years early, because this takes place in the early days of the apocalypse. But I'm very interested to see what goes on with Lydia. I think that's an interesting template to play around with, and an interesting character to work with at a young age, and see her point of view of the Whispers at such a young age. Now, moving on to the question proposed to me by Heidi. Now, if any of you in the watching have any questions you'd like me to do, let me know in the comment section down below. I'll do a video or maybe a Q&A in the future, so let me know. But Heidi was wondering if Alden or Luke or one of them will die before the trade goes down. Now, seeing as episode 10 will probably be prior to the trade, they'd have to die in episode 10. Now, like I said in my review of episode 9, Magnus says that Luke is a survivor. So that means he will most likely survive, if anything not. Because she wasn't just saying that to be nice. She was saying that meaning he can get himself out of pretty much anything. He's a survivor. He can make it through pretty much anything. I know the Whispers are something different, but that's pretty much what she's implying. As for Alden, again, I think he's safe up until the Pike scene. I think up until then, he's safe. Now, as for storytelling-wise, because I know people might be thinking that they'll kill one just to provoke them and to cause trouble, but the Pike scene is the big moment in the Whisper arc. If Alpha kills Alden or Luke, that automatically throws them into a point of no return. Automatically right there would be war, there would be chaos, there would be no turning back. You need that moment to come later. The Pike scene, which will most likely be towards the end of the season, is what I believe will be the point of no return. At that point, that's when they know, okay, we can't, negotiate with these people. We can't, make them our allies. I don't think that will be this point. I feel like it's too early in the Whisper's introduction and it'd feel rushed. We need to learn about these characters. We need to have them around. We can't just rush into another war that we just got out of at the end of last season. I think if anything, the Whisper War will come at the back half of season 10, if at the earliest, in my opinion. And I think that's probably right, in my opinion. Now, as for, in a sense, what they're going to do with Luke and Alden, they're going to probably have them there for them to see what the Whisperers are like, see their way of life. Alpha will probably explain some of her backstory, like with Lydia and Luke, or Henry. Lydia will probably be telling Henry some things, and Alpha will probably be telling Luke and Alden some things, which is very interesting in my perspective. I feel like it'll also, in my opinion, they'll Whispers will probably feed Luke and Alden, take care of them, and lure our survivors into a false sense of security as they believe, okay, these people treated our people safely, they didn't hurt them, they didn't do anything bad to them. Maybe we can work something out between the two of us. But meanwhile the Whispers have other plans, and that's what leads into them thinking, okay, we're safe. The fair comes around, the Whispers infiltrate the fair, and then boom, end of the season, you got the Pike scene, and that's when it's revealed, okay, you can't trust these people, and there's no going back at this point. There's gonna be conflict. So I think that's what they're doing with Luke and Alden. I do not believe that Luke and Alden are gonna die anytime soon. If at the earliest the Pike scene, but even then, I think that's questionable for Luke. But I do think Alden will die this season as one of the heads. But let me know what you think. Do you think I'm wrong? I think that I don't see any point of having them, either one of them, die before the trade. Because like I said, if either one of them dies, what's stopping them from just killing Lydia on the spot? They have to give Lydia back. And I feel like if they kill them, they kind of lose their leverage at that point. I feel like it's a hostage situation. You want to have something to give back to leverage for your daughter. Sure, you still have one captive, but you've already kind of shot yourself in the foot by killing one already. So I feel like killing one of the hostages prior to the trade puts the Whisperers at a disadvantage, while they want to be at an advantage to get Lydia back. So I feel like both of them will survive, and that's pretty much my answer to this question. Let me know what your thoughts and opinions, like I said, are regarding this theory and what you think will happen to both these characters in episode 10. So yeah, guys, that's my thought on Alpha's backstory, as well as an answer to whether I think Luke or Alden will die before the trade with the Whisperers and Hilltop. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about these theories in the comment section down below. And as always, if you liked this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and share. And don't forget to subscribe down below and hit that bell icon. That way you don't miss any more Walking Dead content from me in the future. This has been Vision here with Blind Entertainment, and I'll see you next time.